Start our virtual fair then. So, bore da a chroeso I chi gyd I ffair Wirfoddoli Rithiol Cafo. Yn enw I Ruth a dwi'n swyddog galluogi gwirfoddoli gyda Cafo. Mae dyn ni hefyd Kate sydd yn swyddog datblygu gwirfoddoli cymunedol gyda ni heddi o Cafo ac Trish sydd yn swyddog gwirfoddoli yn Cafo. Mae Cafo yn cefnogi gwaith gwirfoddol yng Ngheredigion. Trwy gweithio'n agos gyda mudiadau ar draws y sir, I ni yn gallu darparu gwasanaeth I unigolion sydd â ddiddordeb yn gwirfoddoli ac I mudiadau sy'n cynnwys gwirfoddolwyr yn ei gwaith. Good morning and welcome to you all to Cafo's virtual volunteering fair. My name is Ruth and I'm a volunteering enabler at Cafo. And also today we have, as part of the Cafo team, Kate, who is the Community Volunteering Development Officer, and Trish, who is our volunteering officer. So Cafo supports voluntary work in Ceredigion. Through working closely with organisations throughout the county, we are able to provide a service to individuals who are interested in volunteering and to organisations who involve volunteers in their work. So heddi, I ni yn mynd I edrych ar rhai o'r cyfleoedd amgylcheddol sydd ar draws Ceredigion. Gyda canllawiau Covid yn dechrau llacio, pobl yn gallu cwrdd yn ddiogel, tu allan, a'r tywydd yn gwella wrth gwrs, mae'r cyfle I wirfoddoli yn yr awyr agored yn bosib. Mae yna nifer o wahanol cyfleoedd I wirfoddoli tu allan, a mae'r cyfle I wneud gwahaniaeth i'r ymgylchfyd yn bwysig tu hwnt. Today's fair will have a focus on some of the environmental volunteering opportunities that we have in Ceredigion. With COVID restrictions starting to change and people being able to meet outdoors safely and better weather, of course, it is possible to start volunteering outdoors. There are many different opportunities to volunteer outside in Ceredigion, and it's something, and to do something for the environment is really important. It's quite an important one. So, y mudiadau sydd gyda ni heddiw, the organisations that we have with us here today are Pemparcau Planting Project, bore da Claire, good morning Claire. Cardigan Bay Marine Wildlife Centre, bore da, good morning Laura. Denmark Farm, morning Linda. And Heather from Aberystwyth Food Surplus, good morning, bore da. So each presenter will have around 5 to 8 minutes for each organisation to do their presentation. We will add in the comments section on Facebook the contact details for each one. If any of our viewers have any comments, please type them also in the comment section on Facebook and we will get back to you with a response as soon as we can. Finally, today's fair is being recorded and will be available to view again on Facebook, and you can also find it on the Cafo YouTube page, along with previous volunteering fairs that we have done. It will also be found, or a link to it can be found on the Cafo new website as well. So bydd gan pob cyflwynydd tua 5 I 8 munud I siarad am ei cyfle gwirfoddol. Byddwn yn rhoi manylion cyswllt pob mudiad yn yr adran sylwadau ar Facebook. Ac os ganddoch chi unrhyw sylwadau tra bod yn gwylio y ffair, gallwch ychwanegu i'r adran sylwadau ac fe wnawn ymateb mor fuan â phosib. Hefyd, fydd y ffair yn cael ei recordio, felly gallwch gwylio eto trwy Facebook ac hefyd ar tudalen YouTube Cafo, lle gellir hefyd ddod o hyd i'r ffeiriau gwirfoddol I ni wedi wneud yn barod. Gallwch hefyd ddod hyd I link i'r ffair yma ar wefan newydd Cafo hefyd. Felly, gyda hynny, fe nawn ni ddechrau gyda'r cyflwyniadau. So I'd like to start now with the presentations. And first this morning, we have Claire from the Pemparcau Planting Project. So I shall hand over to yourself, Claire. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, my name's Claire Jackson. I am the local conversation officer at Pemparcau Community Hub. At Pemparcau Community Hub, we had a little bit of land that was literally barren. It wasn't being used. And when we went into lockdown in March, I sort of saw an upsurge in reliance on the food banks. There was nowhere really for people to go for their hours exercise. So I just asked the trustees, could I do something with that bit of land? and they said yes. And I didn't have any plans wrote down or anything. I just started to write to the supermarket and say, please, may I have some plants? I'm not a gardener, so it's completely voluntary, everything that I did. And then bit by bit, I started to planted vegetables, planted herbs, planted flowers. And within 2 months, we created a community garden, a community food growing project, and also a bee and wildlife garden, which now has a pond in it as well. So we've just got a recycled pond in the bee and wildlife garden as well. So we're encouraging nature that way. The response to the community garden has been huge. It's made Penparky people proud for a start, because sometimes there is a stigma in Penparky. If you live in Penparky, it is an area of multiple deprivation, unfortunately, and that equates to 1 in 4 of our children living in poverty. And the green spaces that we have, some of them aren't suitable for everyone in the village. So the community garden was about bringing the community together, engagement, teaching a new skill about gardening, and also growing food. From that, we've moved on to 2 social housing estates, which are run with West Wales Housing, and we've put 11 huge concrete planters in there. So it's like they've got their own mini allotment. We fitted them in all parts of the estate so that everyone has access and accessibility. We painted them up, we put soil in there, and we gave them plants. And they were growing everything from herbs to strawberries to sprouts to carrots to potatoes, you name it, they've grown it. So we've got a whole, probably about 130 residents who now have access and opportunity to grow food. We're now extending that around further places in the village, and at present we're looking after 19 planters, but the vision is that we're going to have between 50 and 60 planters all around Penparky. Again, using the vision that they have access and opportunity to grow their own food, and teaching children about where your food comes from. Because with a lot of children, if they grow their own food, they will eat the vegetables that we so need them and want them to eat. So we've done that. The community garden is set up now. We've got a Keep Wells Tidy grants. We've got 2 huge planters now in the Penparky community garden to grow a plethora of vegetables. We've also got another 4 going down the side of the hub now. And the community garden is being closed off now. So before, it was sort of dogs went in there and things like that. If the community garden is being closed off now, so it's going to be a place where people can go and have picnics, people can take time to reflect, people can engage in conversation, people can plant. The herb garden that we've planted is accessible for everyone. So if you've got a pair of scissors and you want to go and get some rosemary, some basil, some parsley, some thyme, anything you can think of, you're allowed to go in there. And it's not just with the people in Penparky, it's for everyone in Ceredigion. So the expansion, obviously, of the planters around the village, we're also working with Eco-Dovey to hopefully get polytunnels. We're working in partnership with the Penparky Football Club, who have now given us a field, which is incredible. But the project managing of this field is going to be huge. And just the 6 volunteers we've got at the moment is not going to be able to project manage a whole field. So we're definitely needing more volunteers to come on board. It doesn't matter whether you've not done gardening before, because I'm not a gardener. I'd never picked up a spade in my life, but it's amazing what Google does. And you join up to the Royal Horticultural Society or any of these things, and you can learn so much. And just seeing the pride in Penparky now, and then coupled with that, we do displays. So we've done an Easter display now. We've done a Halloween display and a Christmas display, where at Halloween we created a 7-foot witch. Her head was carved out of wood. We had little ornaments everywhere. So it's not just about the growing, the wildlife, everything. It's about somewhere to visit. And as I say, the Penparky people are very proud of this garden now. And the fact that they have access and opportunity to grow food is such a wonderful thing. And if we can get it up to 50, 60 planters, which is what we're hoping to do, we're going to need lots of volunteers to help manage those. And that's it.
Thank you, Claire. Wow, do you know something? I didn't realise that you had that much actually going on at the moment, and expanding as well. I mean, a field, wow.
Field, huge expansion, yes. The football club really wants to work with us. And so that field will be for growing bigger crops, but also we're going to divvy it up and give it to some of the residents in Penparky, because the thing for allotments is a 5-year wait. So we want to give back to the people of Penparky and give them a bit of land to grow on.
That's amazing, yeah, fair play. And, you know, you're bringing in the football club as well then. So obviously, again, you're introducing the younger players, the young Exactly, and then the parents, because I'm not a gardener, I'm not a grower myself either. My garden is just lawn. I'm not interested really in growing, and you know, we should be really, because as you say, it's really important that if you get the children to start growing their own fruit and veg and plants and whatever, herbs, then yeah, that is the one way that they are so proud that they've actually grown this tomato, you know, one tomato, you know, they'd be so proud that they've grown that one item that they will eat it, you know,
they will eat it, yeah.
Yeah, and that is amazing.
And also I've just got to mention, which I did for me, for my own mental and physical health, it was wonderful. And I am probably at my most happiest when I'm out there in that garden, seeing things grow, stopping them when everybody stops to talk, oh, what are you doing next? What are you doing next? And the amount of community engagement, but just physically being out in the fresh air, even when it's not so good, the weather, and just watching and planting and seeing these beautiful blooms and flowers and vegetables and herbs growing. I can't recommend it enough for your physical and mental health. It's just the most amazing thing. So I still don't class myself as a full gardener, but I think I'm about half a gardener, definitely.
That's the thing though, and it's a commitment as well, really, isn't it? Because gardening, I remember my auntie telling me gardening is it's all year round.
It's all year round, yeah.
It's absolutely all year round, because you've got obviously your cabbages and your winter veg that you can grow in the winter time.
Yes.
That's it, exactly, and that's what we should be encouraging people to eat as well, is the vegetables and the fruit that are in season. Not, you know, not you don't eat strawberries in December. We're not supposed to be eating strawberries in December. It's exactly,
so that's what I've learned as well, like seasonal vegetables, what we're going to grow. And from our crops this year, because we were quite late last year, because we started in June, but we're going to do an environmental dish of the week. So from whatever crop that is that comes through that week, we're going to make a soup with it or a stew, you know, and it's going to be our little, because everything we do is organic. We don't use any pesticides. We just use a lot of love, TLC, make sure the water's topped up, obviously water from the water butt, not from the tap.
Good.
And yeah, just a bit of TLC, and it's all organic. So people could go if they want and pick a tomato off that plant, and they could just eat it if they wanted to. So
brilliant, that's good. And there's obviously no age limit to your volunteers.
No age limit. No, we have our youngest children come in from 3 or 4 years old, who come in most days. The special needs unit uses 3 times a week now for the class to come over, because we've got a lot of things like wild rosemary and things like that. We've made it sensory, so they can touch it and smell. So they love the herb garden because they can touch everything, and it doesn't matter if they pick a bit off, because it's theirs to keep then. But it's the smells, it's the, you know, and it's, they love it. Yeah,
that's important, isn't it? As you say, for those with visual impairment, or, you know, exactly. Absolutely. And then obviously you're bringing in the older volunteers then, who have got that wealth of experience, I suppose, then, from having maybe allotments or having a garden previously before they moved into.
We were very lucky. Tom Thomas turned up on our doorstep last June, and he said, "What are you doing then?" I said, "This is the vision. This is what I want to do." He said, "Do you need some help?" I said, "Yes." So he was a gardener all his life and worked up at the university. He's lived in the village all his life. He used to play for Penparky football team, played 600 games. His motto is, "I always remember getting on the bus, but I never remember getting off." Everybody knows Tom in the village. So you know when Tom's in the garden, because he commands an audience. Anyway, he's now with us 3 days a week. So he is our main volunteer, and he is just a joy. And what he doesn't know, I'll say to him, "What's that, Tom?" And he'll go, "This is such and such and such a thing." And so then we get the youth coming in for my youth forum, my youth club, and he's took a few lads under his wings who've, you know, had a few problems and stuff like that, and they adore him. And that beautiful intergenerational relationship is forming. And Tom's loving it. The young lads are loving it because they look up to Tom, because he's this great man in the village. And it's just working wonders.
Oh, that's really good. It's good. Yeah, as you say, they've got that connection with him. I guess football, but then slowly getting that gardening connection into it then as well, really, is bringing him on board. Oh, it's brilliant, Claire. Well, it sounds as if, you know, it started off and it's going from strength to strength already, by the sounds of it. So yeah, fantastic. So any volunteers who are interested now, who they want to, you know, share their experience with you, or they want to know what to do, basically, because they can go back and do their own little window herb boxes or little small planters at home. They can come to yourselves, help get a few tips, and then okay, fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Claire, for that. That's brilliant.
No,
thank you.
Thank you.
Got a short video as well from.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. Okay, we play the video. Brilliant, lovely. It was nice to see everybody happy in that video as well, smiling.
Yes.
Nobody wanting to, don't take my photo. Everybody was looking really happy.
No,
with
everyone
what they
was
were
really
doing.
good, yeah.
So brilliant. Thank you, Claire. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to invite now Laura from the Ceredigion Bay Marine Wildlife Centre. Morning, Laura. I shall pass things over to yourself.
Morning, thank you for having me. So my name's Laura Evans and I am the Living Seas Project Officer for the Ceredigion Bay Marine Wildlife Centre based in Newquay. We're actually part of the Wildlife Trust of South and West Wales, but our main focus is on marine conservation in Ceredigion Bay. We do a lot of research, particularly focused on marine mammal populations, including bottlenose dolphins, Atlantic grey seals and harbour porpoise. And we also do a lot of research with our research work, like community engagement and education as well. So there's so many different opportunities for volunteers to get involved. You don't need a background in science. You know, we provide full training. At the moment, that's obviously mostly all done online via Zoom. And then we obviously have additional support from staff via emails, you know, over the phone conversations. And as, you know, restrictions are now easing, we can do some limited sort of face-to-face social distancing support sessions as well. So volunteers get involved with dolphin watch surveys, so looking out for dolphins mainly from Newquay and from Aberystwyth. But they also get involved in beach cleans, which can obviously be done anywhere along the coast in Ceredigion. We provide litter picks and equipment for that as well, because obviously we don't want people picking up things by hand, especially in the pandemic at the moment. We've also do shore search surveys, so those again can be done along the coast of Ceredigion, where you go out to a rocky shore, have a look throughout the rocky shore, looking for the different crabs, anemones, seaweeds and things that you find, and recording that information for us as well. We're also really lucky to be launching a new youth-led climate change project that'll be launching on the 22nd of April, so watch this space. But that will be involving young people aged 9 to 24 to help us take action to protect our seas, tackle climate change and to inspire other peoples to make a difference. So if you are in that age group or you know someone in that age group who would like to be involved, then we'll have opportunities for volunteers to join that youth-led project as well. So volunteering with us is really flexible. It can be done 7 days a week. We can fit it in around your schedule. Obviously at the moment, sort of our main hours are working at sort of 9 to 5, but as we hit the summer months, we sometimes have volunteers that do surveys at 7 a.m. in the morning or later on in the evening. And obviously shore search surveys are limited and beach cleans are limited by tides, but we can be really flexible, and you know, there's no minimum commitment that you need to give to us. It could be a couple of hours a week, it could be a couple of hours a month. We really don't mind. We also have some home-based tasks. I know a lot of people will probably want to be getting out and enjoying the weather and just being out of the house, but if you are interested in possibly doing things like creating posts for social media, writing blogs for our website and e-news articles, we also have opportunities for volunteers to assist with those as well. We do also have a visitor centre, which obviously at the moment is closed. Hopefully at some point this year we'll be able to open that, and in the visitor centre we're obviously providing information to members of the public on the fantastic marine life that we have in Ceredigion Bay and how to protect it. We also have a small gift shop which obviously helps to fund our work, and should we be able to open this year, fingers crossed, obviously we've got all the protection in place, you know, extra sanitizing stations, screens, for example, and we're only allowing in one group at a time. So we trialed that last year and it worked out pretty well. So I'm just going to share a video from some of our volunteers. So obviously some volunteers have been volunteering with us for a while, so I think one or two mentioned some office-based tasks which obviously aren't available at the moment, but you know, in the next year or so, hopefully as restrictions ease more and we can welcome people into our office, those tasks will be available. But this video should hopefully give you a little bit of an idea of what our volunteers do.
Hi, I'm Dave Martin. I live in Ceredigion and volunteer at Cardigan Bay Marine Wildlife Centre. Normally I can be found on New Quay Sea Wall undertaking surveys or in the office collating data. My favourite time is when I'm asked to join an ID survey. With luck, this is when I will get a close encounter with dolphins and seals, or maybe even see a sunfish or a basking shark.
George. I volunteer by undertaking marine mammal population surveys in Aberystwyth. I love volunteering as I've gained lots of practical experience outside of studying for my degree. I also get to spend time outside and I've met loads of great people with similar interests.
Hello, my name's Karen Morse and I've been volunteering with the Cardigan Bay Marine Wildlife Centre in Newquay for 4 years, mainly conducting land-based surveys from the harbour wall, monitoring the bottlenose dolphin, harbour porpoise and Atlantic grey seal populations. I'm also responsible for our visitor centre gift shop. What I really enjoy about volunteering is it gives me the chance to work with a lovely team of people who have a shared interest in the marine environment and its wildlife.
So hopefully you all heard that video okay. So we've got a really nice close-knit team of volunteers. Despite everything going on, we still try and do social events. We do pub quizzes on Zoom, for example. We've got a volunteer Facebook group and we've got one volunteer who's lucky enough to have a view of Newquay Bay and all the fantastic wildlife from his house. So he gives us regular updates, which we send out by emails to volunteers. So we still have that social side despite everything going on at the moment. So if you are interested in any of the volunteering opportunities, just feel free to get in touch.
Brilliant, thank you, Laura. It's really interesting because you don't really need a background, do you, in marine wildlife, and it's just an interest really in, for me, I've been interested in actually seeing dolphins because as much as I hate to say it, I've not yet seen a dolphin in Newquay. I seem to be up there at the wrong time every time I go up there. So it's nice that, you know, it can involve people from different backgrounds if they just want that reason to head to Newquay and do something, you know, for the environment. Or it could be for somebody who's looking to get into that kind of career, really, can't it? It could be a nice step for them to volunteer with yourself first and then progress then into a career.
Yeah, definitely. We've got, you know, a lot of people volunteer with us because of the dolphins. Obviously, that's the main reason. But yeah, you know, just anyone that's interested in marine wildlife or passionate about the marine environment, or even if you just want to spend a few hours by the sea, which is obviously a nice way to spend your time. But then obviously, you know, for anyone that is interested in getting a career in marine conservation, we can also provide like additional support, extra training. You know, we often, you know, act as referees for people as well. So it works quite well. We have a really nice wide mix of volunteers.
I know, and who could blame somebody if they wanted to spend a couple of hours up in Newquay, even when it's raining. Newquay is just lovely. It's really nice. And, you know, even, I suppose people could turn up and do a beach clean for you if there's a small group of them, obviously, to let you know, first of all. But, you know, there's nothing to stop somebody, an individual or a couple together, if they wanted to head down to Newquay and do a bit of a beach clean, and they could just do that then.
Yeah, and obviously for anyone that wants to do it more regularly, we can provide equipment and they can just go off, you know, checking the tide times. You know, we provide all that sort of health and safety risk assessments to go along with it, and yeah, just do it whenever they want in their own free time, which I think is really nice as well. Yeah,
it is lovely. And that fair play, you've got a lovely visitor centre down there as well, a gift shop. It's it's lovely down there with yourselves. Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you, Laura. Thank you for that. And yeah, good luck with hopefully when everything reopens and we'll be able to get things back open safely for you then, and it'd be great. It'd be lovely. Thank you. I would like now to ask Linda from Denmark Farm if you would like to start your presentation, Linda.
Thanks very much, Ruth. Thanks for inviting me here today. Yes, my name is Linda Bradshaw Wood. I work for the charity, which is the Shared Earth Trust, and we're based at Denmark Farm Conservation Centre. We're a very small team of staff, 3 part-time staff, so we achieve as much as we can with such a small group. And my role is as site and volunteer manager. I work on a project called Caru mewn, which is keeping nature in mind. And that's funded by the Landfill Disposals Tax Community Scheme. It's a 2-year project. And most of last year, we were unable to do, obviously, what we were planning to do for the project, but they've extended it now to the end of September this year, so that hopefully we can get things up and running a bit better now. So Denmark Farm, if people haven't been there before, is a 40-acre nature reserve. It's just outside Lampeter in a little village called Bettisbledrus, which is on the Tregaron Road. So we've got a fantastic team of volunteers. Some of them have been with us for a number of years. Some of them are very new. Some people have recently moved into the area and joined us. And we meet about 2 to 3 times a month, usually sometimes at a weekend, sometimes in a weekday, to try and make it accessible to as many people as possible. And there's various opportunities that people can get involved with. A lot of it is practical habitat management. So we might be clearing the trails that are all around the reserve for access for people. We might be coppicing the willow. And the willow gets used for the basket making courses that we run. And then there's management of the meadows and the wetlands, all the different ponds and scrapes that we've got, and the woodlands. And then we'll also do things like construction of bird boxes and barn owl floats. And then we'll also do wildlife surveys as well. So linking in with things like the citizen science projects, like the big butterfly count or the big garden bird watch, frog spawn count. And then we do lots of other things because we collect all the data of all the wildlife that's on the reserve for our own records. And they also get sent to the West Wales Biodiversity Information Centre as well. And it means we can then track how things are changing. Denmark Farm has only been a nature reserve for about 30 odd years. Before that, it was intensively managed farmland. So it's been restored, it's been rewilded really. There's a common expression at the moment, rewilding. And I suppose Denmark Farm in a way was one of the first people to do that. So other opportunities for volunteering are the gardening group as well, which luckily we've just been able to get a small grant to get that up and running again. So we've got a wildlife garden and we've got an area for growing vegetables and a greenhouse and maintaining the planters in the courtyard, which is where people come into the main car park to visit the training centre. So yes, at the moment we've just started our volunteer days back up again, thank goodness, but we're really having to limit it to 5 people plus myself as the leader. So people are having to book their place at the moment, and I'm hoping, you know, as time goes on through the summer, that hopefully we'll be able to just reduce the restrictions and allow as many people as want to really to join us. So we've got lots of new procedures in place, as you can imagine. All the tools are cleaned and sanitized. Nobody shares tools. We provide all any safety equipment people need, social distancing, all the normal things that we're getting used to now. And all of the work we do now is outside, whereas before we were doing things inside as well. Yes, so people need to book their place. If they're new to us, then they fill in a registration form. It's all very straightforward. And then they don't need any experience at all. I'll always go through with them how to use the tools safely, what the job is that we're doing, how to do it, demonstrate what we're doing. So yeah, it's suitable for anyone to join us. They don't need to have any knowledge of gardening or any habitat management or anything, just an interest in finding out more about their environment and the wildlife that lives on the nature reserve. Our volunteers are, I think the youngest we've got at the moment is 17, and I think the oldest we've got is 70, and everywhere in between. So they're a brilliant team of volunteers. They're all really happy to help each other out. And we always welcome new people. Even in these difficult times over the last year, we've probably had about 5 new volunteers. And so once we can get up and running better and easier, then you know, everybody will be welcome to come back. So yeah, so if anybody's interested in finding out more about what we do or finding out more about how they can get involved, then just please contact me. I'd love to hear from you. And I know Kate has got a video that one of my volunteers has kindly put something together at home on a little video. Her name is Gretchen, and she's been with us volunteering for about 3 years now. And yeah, she's very supportive and can lead groups as well when we got lots of people, when we got lots of volunteers in. So, okay.
Hello, my name's Gretchen and I've been volunteering at Denmark Farm Conservation Centre for over 3.5 years now. I'd like to tell you why I think volunteering's a really good thing to do. Obviously, it benefits the organisation or the charity that you're helping, but more than that, it has lots of benefits for yourself as well as an individual and your community. For start, you're going to meet people in the local area, people maybe with similar interests to you, and if you've just moved to a new locality like I had, it's a lovely way to meet like-minded people in your area. As well as that, you get to use skills you've already got or gain new skills and experience that you can then use to further your own career. So I got a job subsequently with the Wildlife Trust, and I know for a fact that partially that was based on my experience that I'd had volunteering for various organisations, not just my qualifications, because I actually changed career. So doing the volunteering in a different area helped me to get experience and skills in that different area. The third thing that I think is really good about it is that it's, even if you're not looking for work, it's really good for your own sense of well-being and your mental health to think that you're doing something that's got such a worthwhile purpose. And especially if you're out in nature, you're going to be getting all the health benefits, both physical and mental, that it's well documented now that brings. So, you know, give it a try. What have you got to lose?
I can't Denmark Farm enough. I'm quite biased in this situation where I live, which is the theme of Ceredigion's. This is our fair, live where you live in Ceredigion. I do love all the places we have here, but I do live particularly near Denmark Farm. And I have to say, through my life and through my 20 years of living here, it's been my solace. It's been to be outdoors, to do something for others, but just to breathe it in and to have that time to see the outdoors, to have some space. It's a beautiful, peaceful, tranquil place to be. So anyone who wants to spend some time there, be volunteering or just take a walk around, it's a beautiful place, I have to say. I'd have to be a little bit biased, just particularly, sorry, rest of it.
Thanks, Trish.
That's fine. It looked as if, Linda, all the opportunities that you had there were quite, you know, you have to be very physical to do a lot of them, like the coppicing and the management and everything. So if somebody was really, really interested in volunteering with you, but maybe were just that little bit not as physically strong as what they would think they need to be then, or would wish themselves to be, would that sort of stop them from coming to you, or would there be some tasks that they would be able to do?
I think, you know, the tasks we do, it's not a case of you've got to work solid throughout the day. People can take rests when they need to. They can just have a sit down and watch what's going on. They can work at their own pace completely. It's not all about getting the job done. It's much more about the social side of it, as well as the actual getting the work done. So yeah, people don't have to be fit and healthy. They just got to be, you know, they're going to benefit from being outdoors anyway, just in the fresh air and enjoying the peaceful surroundings and just having a chat with people. So, you know, it's not all about lots of work. It's about much more than that. So even if people feel that they're not very strong or not very fit, they'll actually probably really benefit from it and get gradually fitter. So yeah,
Of course,
and
yes.
they can always just come for half a day as well if they want to. So, you know, our volunteer days do run usually from 10 till 4. But if they want to just come for half a day, that's absolutely fine as well. We're really flexible with that, whatever's best for them.
Brilliant. Do you do taster sessions as well then, Linda, for the volunteering opportunities that you've got?
I have done in the past, but obviously things have changed a bit now. But people can just come along and see what we do and just try us out, really. That, you know, they're not expected to come every time. They can just come whenever they're available. And like I was saying earlier, we run one session on a weekend and one session on a weekday. So if people are working or if they've got family commitments or whatever, there's always, you know, people can fit in around, you know, our volunteer diary, if you like, and just book their place when they're available.
Brilliant. It sounds as if you've sort of covered everything for everybody, really. And yeah, it's nice to know that they don't have to come and, like, you know, task and finish for that day. As you said, they can dip in and dip out, and if they want to go and have a cup of tea and a slice of cake or whatever, they can do that and then come back to the job afterwards. Brilliant. Thank you, Linda. And it was lovely to see a volunteer video as well. It's nice to see that people, through volunteering, go on to either further their career or completely change their career, which is really nice.
I think Laura was saying about giving references, and I've recently given one of our volunteers a reference, and he's now at a university up in London, so doing a PhD in something, I can't remember what, but yeah, you know, it's ways we can help people to further their careers as well.
Absolutely, that's the one value in volunteering, definitely, isn't it? Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you, Linda. Thank you for that. Okay, Heather, I think we'll come to yourself next now, and I shall let you introduce yourself. Otherwise, I'm taking away from people's presentations. So I'll pass it over to you, Heather.
Hi, thank you, Ruth. Hello, my name's Heather. I'm part of the team of the Aber Food Surplus Project. So we're a team of over 60 of us, and we're taking action on the environment. So we're really passionate about the environment. We love being in the environment and working with food. So we're very passionate about food as well. So our organisation set up and was originally motivated through food waste being such a big impact on our environment. So a third of food produced in the world is wasted, and that's enough to feed 3 billion people. And I think one of the things that motivated us and why saving food waste we believe is important for environmental action is because that amount of food that's being wasted takes up 28% of our land mass. So it's a huge amount of land that we're deforesting or changing to grow food that then goes in the bin, and that really hurt our feelings. You know, that really upset us, and we believe in, you know, a thriving, healthy planet, and our food system's contributing to 60% of global terrestrial biodiversity loss. So we're really motivated to do something about this, and I hope that can motivate you to come and volunteer with us as well, to take action on working towards a more sustainable food system, but also a more participatory food system, because food and different parts of our food system are really exciting to sort of be involved with. It's good for our bodies, it's good for our soul, but we also get to meet new people and learn so much from everyone else that's volunteering with us. So the the sort of opportunities that Aber Food Surplus have at the moment for volunteers to take environmental action are helping out with supermarket food collections. So we collect food waste from the supermarkets each day. And then we also have a surplus selection box team. So we reach over 150 families each week through our surplus selection boxes working. So that role will involve making up these boxes for all the different families and charities that we work with, and then getting it ready for a delivery team. So that brings me on to, you could also join the delivery team, delivering food around town. And that can be in a car, but it could also be on a bike. So you might want to get involved cycling around the town and being quite a visual and active member of the team there. There's also opportunities to get involved in the growing teams. So there's about 15 people in the growing team at the moment for Tyfu Aber Grow. And there's also the seed library. So you could get involved growing in and around the town. We're really looking forward to working with Penparky Penparky Planting Project on that as well, and urban growing in the future. So hopefully there'll be a big team of us all growing in that area. So you might want to get involved there. Then there's the seed library, as I mentioned a moment ago, and this is another volunteer-led project that recognised that we need to build seed resilience in our seed stock. And so we're taking action to save seeds and practice the sort of routines and the skill of saving seeds to build more resilient seed stock. So that could be exciting. That will involve posting out seeds to different people and also maybe going and growing seeds and saving them on different plots. It depends what you would like to do, and we can help that role change and really support you to do exactly what you'd like experience in. Then there's also the Aber Food Co-op, which is a cooperative that runs out of the Aber Food Surplus Hub. And that's a different team, but they're also taking action to work towards a more sustainable food system. So they're working with local growers to sell local produce and try and support those producers to have fair reward from the farming system and the sort of farming industry and food production industry. So we hope that that will continue to flourish, and it looks like a really good fun team to be part of as well. So that's again making up vegetable boxes or being involved in the growing or the ordering of food. There's lots of cooking opportunities as well. Obviously, I'm talking about lots of food, and as you might be able to imagine, or you might not, you might see from our video that we are constantly surrounded by loads of food and trying to revalue it. So cooking is a really great way to do that, and to sit down and share a meal with people and meet new people and talk about food. So if you'd like to get involved in cooking, whether that's learning new cooking skills and join a cooking team to learn, or whether you want to bring your cooking skills and maybe lead a team or be part of a team to cook, we really like both options. So bring your skills along or come and learn from other people in the community how to cook. And then you might be thinking, what happens to all the cuttings and peelings? Well, that's the sort of thing we think of at Food Waste. Where are all these cuttings and peelings going to go? The food that we might have collected from the supermarket that's a little bit bad, where are we going to put it? So we also have a composting team they man the composter. We have a Rydych turbo composter that heats itself up. It's sort of insulated, so we can make really good compost. When I say really good, it's all trial at the moment. So there's a volunteer team trialing it, and it looks really good from the photos they're sharing and the sort of activities they've been doing so far. It looks like they're making some lovely stuff, lovely compost there. So there's lots of different active ways where you can make a difference volunteering with Aber Food Surplus every day. In all different ways, and the best thing to do is to head over to our website and the Get Involved page, but also the Cavo websites, and you can find our application form there. and it does sometimes take us a week or two, and maybe even 3 to get back to everyone and follow up with our sort of referencing procedures and everything, and do all our paperwork to get new volunteers sort of on the team. But please just bear in mind it's just a little bit of a slow process. We do really want you there. So that's all the sort of active roles. There are also more roles behind the scenes. So that could be supporting volunteers. You could be a volunteer support and just checking in on everyone. The power of a cup of tea and being a tea maker is really, really magical when you have someone whose sole responsibility it is to keep everyone refreshed and happy. It can be a really rewarding experience. But there's also things like gathering stories from the volunteers for our weekly newsletter that goes out to just the volunteer team. But we like to keep everyone sort of connected in the team and sharing stories and news. So you could be part of that process, or organising the events and being a bit more desk-based. So yeah, please come and join us and take action and participate in the food system with us. Video. And now we will show you, or I will show you a quick video. I'll show you a snippet of our video because it's quite a long video, but I'll just play a minute or so of it just to give you a feel, and then we'll share it with Carvo and everyone and the Facebook, so you can watch at any time and learn a little bit more and meet the team. There's quite a lot of teammates in this video. Oh, password. Sorry, it's doing.
Do pickups on a Tuesday night from the supermarkets.
We go to M&S, Lidl's and Tesco. I do the collections on a Tuesday evening, trying to play a small part, doing a bit of a difference to how food is dealt with and how we think about food as well.
Even though we're all working from home at the moment, and due to COVID-19 the community fridge is closed, but instead we're making surplus selection boxes.
Make up these great boxes for people, and I've just spotted there's all kinds of things in our boxes.
To redistribute the surplus food, which otherwise would end up in a landfill, and instead it's going out to people who will eat it, so that seems a good thing to do.
So we've made up these boxes for collection and delivery. These are our surplus selection boxes. They go out Wednesdays, Thursdays and Fridays.
Form of transport we use to distribute the surplus food around the town, which is obviously a bicycle.
Okay, I'll leave you there for the video, and please do go and enjoy the rest in your own time. You hear a bit more about the growing and other activities there as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you. And you weren't joking when you said there that you were surrounded by a lot of food. Wow, that's all I can say is that, you know, I don't know if it's, you could say it's fortunate or not, but, you know, you've got quite a few supermarkets, I suppose, in Aberystwyth. So obviously the amount of surplus food that is there for you to redistribute and revalue, as you said, is probably, well, as you can see, it's immense, isn't it? It's so much. Do you have any idea that, you know, the actual quantity, the weightage that you actually, and I know, I'm sorry, I might have thrown this question at you, you don't know, but just an idea really of how much food you actually distribute in maybe a year?
Yeah, sure. So I think when we first started out, we were so shocked, and that's what sort of led to us doing this bit more full time, really, because we just couldn't stop and let that go to waste. And our ambition was to always run ourselves out of business, you know, to tackle the problem and for food to be valued and not wasted. So yeah, there's still a long way to go there, but we have seen a decrease, so that's good. Hence growing more food and growing it more sustainably. So I think a bit later on in the video, one of the volunteers, Jack, mentions that there's the last year we'd saved 50,000 tons. Sorry, 50,000. Yeah. No, 50,000 kilos. 50 tons of food from being wasted. And a little bit later on in that video, he says what that equates to in meals. And it's a really, really huge number. I wish I could remember. I'm sorry that I can't.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah, no, but it's unbelievable, because I think people need to go back at a later point. Oh, need to go at a later point and watch that video then, because when you say 50 tons of food, you can't really imagine what that actually looks like. So I think to look at the video and get that into your head is just going to be mind-blowing, I think, by the looks of it. But I mean, what you do in there is, you're trying to reduce food waste, yes, but obviously, as you say, you're getting people to grow their own food as well, so that they grow just what they need then, really. And if they've got extra, then it's given to family, to friends, to neighbours. It's just a lovely way, really, of of growing and giving, I suppose, in a way.
I think that's one of the things, the celebrating sharing and the gift of giving. So quite often giving a gift is, it's more exciting, it's more of a gift to you than receiving one. So I think that's something that volunteers get out of the project as well. We had a volunteer who's from a Jewish background last week who found a particular food that from his culture, and they can then take that and give that as a gift. And it's that gift of giving that the project also you can kind of experience in the project. It's really exciting. Yeah.
I've been so impressed today. I always have in the volunteering phase that we run, that of the kind of variety of opportunities that people can take part in, and the passion that you have as teams to provide the opportunities. And but the theme also is, and is today again, is the welcome that you have for people and the belonging that your volunteers, you can tell from the way you talk about your volunteering and they're giving their time to you as groups, that they really obviously feel valued. It's really important to be part of the bigger picture, but that they as individuals feel really important as well. And I think that belonging in Welsh, the Welsh, the perthyn, is so key, I think, when you give your time. And I think that theme today, again, is live where you live. And I think that echoes through your organisations, the love and the care for each other and for the concept and the cause you may have, but for each other as volunteers, it does echo, and it's lovely. And for me, that's one of the highlights of working and promoting volunteering to people is that feel-good factor all round. And yeah, it's lovely to hear from all your projects today that is a really echoing. So, for me, I'm kind of always talking about volunteering. I think it's great anyway, but particularly today, I'm really proud to kind of these opportunities are echoing some amazing experiences, just for the individual, but for the group and for cause and a bigger issue as well. So yeah, lovely. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely, Trish, thank you. I think we're going to finish off now with one video from Cered, so the Menter Iaith in Ceredigion. Kate, are we ready with that video?
Helo gyfeillion, gobeithio bod chi gyd yn carw'n dda. Hope you're all keeping well. Fe'n yw'r Rodri Francis, a wy'n gweithio i Cered Menter Iaith Ceredigion. Yeah, I'm Rodri Francis, for those of you that don't know me, and I work for Cered Menter Iaith Ceredigion. Pan fi'n neud y pethau yma, recordo pethau fel, sim script fi jyst yn siarad galon, felly meddiwch I fi os fi'n dweud rhywbeth sy'n yn wrong. You're just saying, when I do these things, I don't speak from a script. I usually say how I feel. So, forgive me if I say something wrong. But digwydd bod heddi, fi'n teimlo'n dda. Mae'r hael allan. Mae fe ddydd ffantastig yn mas I gerddi fy'n honest I chi. Yeah, to be honest, today I'm feeling really good. And that reflected in the weather really, because I'm looking outside my kitchen window and it's a beautiful day. And it's giving me to think, well, I better go for a walk. Yeah. Mynd am wac, wel, beth am mynd lan I tan y bwlch? Mae tan y bwlch yn lle hyfryd, a dwi'n byw yn Trefechan, 5 munud o wac lan fyna, a mae fe'n hyfryd, mae fe'n rhoi cyfle I fi, mae'n rhoi cyfle I bawb, pob un o'na rili, I bod ni'n mynd lan, a bod ni just cael moment I adlewyrchu, I gofio, a just chill o mas, as yw'r gair cywir, ac ymlacio, it's a chance for us to you know, when I go up to Tanabulch, it's a chance for me to, you know, relax really and sort of shut away from the world, you know, in a compassionate, loving way. Yes, living in Rydych, and I just live, what, 5-10 minutes from Tanabulch. I'm up there in a shot, and it's a lovely, beautiful feeling. And I think that I will go for a walk today. Yeah, ma Ceredigion yn lle hyfryd fel ynddo fe. I ni wedi bod yn neud sesiynau cerdded gyda cered, neu cered gyda cerdded, fi'n dweud e to. Cerdded gyda cered. Yeah, so it's walking with cered. And yeah, misoedd yn ôl, dwi wedi bod yn neud sesiynau cerdded gyda cered o gwmpas Aberystwyth, a gweld yr holl trysor o diwylliant na sydd dyn ni'n Aberystwyth. We've been doing walks. I've been doing that with Radio Aber. I've been doing recording stuff with Radio Aber, which is a community-based radio station in Aberystwyth, and just sort of appreciating the culture we've got and the language we have in Aberystwyth. Dwi'n digwydd bod yn byw oes Pontrefechan. Wel, wrth gwrs, mae Pontrefechan yn lle hanesyddol iawn fel o ran protest cyntaf Cymdeithas yr Iaith. It's very famous bridge, Pontrefechan, where I live, just literally 30 seconds here, and that's where the first language protest happened in 1962, and that's basically why we've got all the Welsh language signs, and people have fought over it, and it happened here in Aberystwyth, near Pontrefechan. Felly fan hyn ddigwyddodd yn Pontrefechan. Felly mae lot o ffyrdd i lan o hanes sydd yn gret. A dyn ni wedi bod yn neud sesiynau, dyn ni wedi bod lan i le fi wedi bod nawr? Nant yr Arian. Pwy all ngofio Nant yr Arian? O'n i'n trio meddwl am enw'r lle, I guess i brain freeze. I was thinking about the name of the place, Nant yr Arian. A mynd o gwmpas fyna, a gweld y barcud coch wedyn yn hedfan o gwmpas yn yr awyr. Mae fe'n lle hyfryd fel ynddo fe. A felly, yeah, just i ddweud, mae fe'n ffantastig bod ni gyd yn dod at ein gilydd. It's brilliant that we come together. Yeah, dim wyneb yn wyneb, ond mae'r flwyddyn yma wedi rhoi cyfleon newydd i ni, heriau newydd, a yn yw Zoom yw'r gair newydd ydy fe, Zoom yw'r chwildro. We're in the Zoom revolution, you know, where maybe we don't meet face to face, but you know, we're in the Zoom revolution, and we meet on Zoom. A just eisiau dweud, ie, mae Ceredigion, mae Aberystwyth, mae Trefi, mae Pentrefi, ffantastig, da ni'n mynd mas yn y wlad. It's a beautiful place, Ceredigion. So, fi'n annog i chi gyd wneud yna, achos mae wedi bod yn her enfawr i ni. It's been a big challenge. Many people have gone through, you know, horrendous situation where we've lost close ones, many of us. A mae rhaid ni gofio hynny fel ynddo fe. A mae fe wedi bod yn straen enfawr ar ein iechyd meddwl. It's been, you know, we've lost close ones, and you know, it's been a big strain on our mental health, all of us, and including myself, and cynnwys fy hun yna. So dim shame to be the way now, you know, I've had a big effect the last year on my mental health. I haven't been fantastic all the time. I have no shame in saying that, because it's been a bit of a taboo subject, and I think it's important that we talk about mental health issues. And fel rhan o hynny, trwy siarad am iechyd meddwl, mae cerdded yn rhan mor bwysig o'n therapy ni, and chybod o ran therapy, you know, part of that therapy dealing with mental health is obviously by talking about it and going out and walking around Ceredigion. It's going around Tanabulch, Nant yr Arian, and these fantastic places, and it's great therapy, you know, and it's something that we haven't talked about, you know, for years. You know, in my opinion, mental health, and the last year is something that's certainly that's been big in the news, and big within community groups, community development groups. You know, Caru, I know. I've talked with Kate and Trish, you know, about the kind of challenges that we face in our communities, and you know, mental health has been a big part of it. Felly, diolch o galon enfawr I chi. Just i ddweud, mae Ceredigion, mae Cymru, mae traddodiad gwych, mae diwylliant gwych, mae dyn ni iaith Gymraeg ffantastig. It's just saying that, you know, Ceredigion is a fantastic place. We've got brilliant culture, and we've got a brilliant, you know, we've got so much a beautiful language, you know. was reading the other day that Welsh language is the fastest growing language in the UK at the moment. A lot of people learning online since the epidemic. So, you know, even though it's been a horrible year, it's been challenging, you know, we've made the best out of the situation. We brought communities together and also, you know, we brought people together, and many people have learned the beautiful language we have. Felly, dwi'n mynd I orffen nawr, dwi'n meddwl bod fi wedi siarad digon, ond diolch o galon enfawr I chi. Thank you very much. Diolch o galon I chi.
I think Rhodri's passion comes over in that, in his love for this county, for language and for giving and sharing and being involved, you know, and I can't echo that enough, you know, it's fantastic. Diolch, Rhodri.
If ever there was an ambassador for Ceredigion and the Welsh language, it is absolutely Rhodri. Follow him on Cered, they've got a Facebook, and he's out and about and he interviews people, and he just, as he just did then, he just sometimes just picks up his phone and starts recording wherever he is when he's out walking, and he will just talk about where he is basically. He loves Ceredigion, he's very, very passionate about Ceredigion. Diolch yn fawr iawn I ti Rhodri am gwneud y fideo na I ni. Mae'n dangos cymaint I ti wir yn meddwl amdano y sir lle wyt ti'n galw yn gytre erbyn nawr. Diolch yn fawr iawn I ti. I think today's volunteering fairs, it's been a little bit different to the usual ones, but it's really had, and as Trish mentioned earlier on, it's shown us the passion that people have for what you do, for your organisations, but where you live as well, and your local community and your local area, and the part of Ceredigion where either you live or your organisation is based. I think love where you live, caru ble chi'n byw. I think it's such a simple thing to do. You know, you can do the little things really. Nothing stopping you from, when you're going out on a walk, litter pick, take a little bag with you, and if there are rubbish, as there seems to be always a few bits of rubbish in the hedgerows, just pick them up and put them in a bin. To planting bulbs outside your house, in your hedgerow, you know, outside your garden, then your hedgerow, native, obviously. It's just small little things like that, and it's the small things, I think, that in the end turn out to be the big things. It's the small things that everybody can do in a way. As a lot of us have said today, they're not gardeners, they're not experts in what they're doing, but they're doing it because there's the need to do it. They want to do it for the community, and then it's just something that grows in the community, and you learn from it, and people thrive, people share, people give, and it's just lovely. It's just really, really nice. We're fortunate in Ceredigion, I think, from the beaches, the mountains, the wetlands, the towns and villages that we have here. We have got such treasures in this county, and we really need to be looking after them. In this and in the sea as well, Laura, obviously, not forgetting. You know, the wildlife, the animals, the plants, everything. Mae popeth sydd gyda Ceredigion mor bwysig I ni edrych ar ôl y bywyd gwyllt, yr môr, y treithau, y mynyddoedd, y trefi, pentrefi, popeth mewn ffordd. Felly mae'n bwysig iawn bod ni'n edrych ar ôl y pethau yma. Mae'n rhwydd I ni weid, dylen ni fod wedi bod yn gwneud rhywbeth yn gynt. We always say, we should have done something sooner. Well, I think, if anything, this last year has shown us that, you know, things happen very, very quickly, and if you want to do something, just get on and do it. Yeah, don't think about it, just, you know, yeah, I think we all need to step up and help and support ourselves. But thank you so much to everybody here today. Thank you, Linda, Denmark Farm, Laura, Cardigan Bay Marine Wildlife Centre, Heather from Aberystwyth Food Surplus, and Claire from Pemparche Planting Project. Thank you so much for giving your time this morning and being part of our virtual volunteering fair. Caval team, thank you once again for putting this together. Kate, especially, I think this was your baby today, being Live Where You Live. So thank you, Kate, for doing it. And yes, if there are any comments up on Facebook, we will get back to you. We will share everybody's details, websites, any contacts that we have for any of the volunteering officers for the organisations here today. We will share them with anybody who shows any interest at all in volunteering. And yeah, stay safe everybody. Diolch yn fawr iawn I chi gyd am fod yn bresennol heddi, and let's all go out and catch a bit of the nice weather of the sun while we have it. So thank you very much everybody. Diolch yn fawr iawn I chi. Diolch.
Diolch, bye.